We are on the afternoon break in the questioning of Alan Mitchell at the undercover policing inquiry. He was the former chief superintendent at the SDS from 2003 until 2005. He is being asked extensively about his role in the Lois Austin versus the Metropolitan Police case, which referred to the unlawful detention of May Day 2001. As well as a witness at that event, he was at the trial. He was a researcher not only into Lois Austin, but also her lawyers and the witnesses that she was calling as part of the case. There was a suggestion that the police believed it was a conspiracy in order to get what the police intelligence held on Lois Austin out in the trial. He claims to have no memory of any of it, including the fact he claims he had no memory of Carlo Sirachi briefing John Beggs and other members of the legal team, despite the fact that he was Carlo Sirachi's manager at the time and also was briefing the legal team himself. I don't think there's anything that he has admitted to remembering all after since lunch. I'm joined by Ben from Campaign Opposing Police Surveillance. What did you make of it?
I can't recall.
Yeah, I mean, literally. He wouldn't like to speculate. He wouldn't like to assume about events which he was at, where he was the senior member of staff present, acting in a professional capacity. We've seen plenty of paperwork showing that he was tasked to do certain roles. None of it seems to ring any bells for him at all.
That's not something I can discuss.
I mean, it was literally that through the entirety of his questioning. When people talk about the fact that the inquiry is a waste of time, I think they are thinking specifically of witnesses just like Alan Mitchell.
Yes, I mean, the inquiry has the power to compel people to come.
Yep.
And people turn up. You know, the amount to which they cooperate is quite limited. Looking forward to seeing what the duty of candor might bring in the future, but at the moment they can what's the word, filibuster.
Yes,
which they do a lot. Yesterday we saw really good examples of that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, on lots of occasions he is giving longer answers than just "I do not recall." He talks about what the legal processes would have been, the way in which the structure of the special branch would have meant that which individual would have been responsible for it. It's definitely not him in any given situation. If anybody else's name is mentioned in any aspect of any question, he says, "Well, you'll have to ask them. It would be a matter for the legal services team," and so forth.
I think the issues that have come up have been really interesting.
Yes, absolutely.
If not the answers. And my ears pricked up when, yet again, Keir Starmer was the representative in that particular case. Which I mean,
I would say that none of the information is new.
A lot of this is actually new to the witness.
Yeah, well, so he claims.
Well, yeah, the documents. Which maybe he has seen,
at the time,
are being presented to him very late, as is the case of the inquiry.
Yeah, very much. I mean, we saw reports that thanked Carlo Sirachi for the information he was able to give. There was initially a suggestion from some of the witnesses, including John Beggs, one of the lawyers for the police, that Carlo Sirachi,
their go-to hatchet man.
Their go-to hatchet man, a complete bastard. I'm familiar, I'm sure, to lots of viewers.
There was actually a website, was it a website or Facebook page? It was like, John Beggs is a bastard.
Yeah, quite. There's a claim by him that all that Carlo Sirachi did was give character, background information about Lois Austin, what she was like. What we've seen is a suggestion actually he gave a lot more in-depth police intelligence around the role of Socialist Party members in terms of anti-fascist organising, casting the suggestion that she was somehow has a history of violence, which obviously we know not to be the case, very much not to be the case. Which suggests that perhaps previous witnesses on this topic haven't been entirely honest.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, there's so much more. With all of this stuff, everything gets glossed over really quickly. Lois Austin had a good few days. She came back, actually. She
did, two appearances.
Whereas the managers and the senior officers, we're getting to the stage where we're going to be seeing them given half days of testimony.
We're really getting a sense that counsel to the inquiry is cherry picking topics. I mean, I think given the lack of memory that the witness is currently showing on this topic, maybe it would be better use of time to ask him about something else, which he admits that he does remember. For example, he says he does remember details about True Spies, which was just before his time, but the fallout of it would have been something that happened on his watch. Maybe he could have been asked around that. I mean, there are plenty of other things, but
I think it's really tricky for counsel because you kind of reward the witnesses by kind of coming to the conclusion you're not going to get anything out of them and then moving on. That's how you get out of answers. You know, I noticed Barr previously has had a technique where he's basically, showcasing the evidence because he's not getting the answers. So he just like reads long chunks and they say, "Oh, I can't remember." But he's read it and it's been really interesting to hear it and have it like contextualized and stuff.
Yeah, and certainly it's been a way of introducing evidence. I mean, this morning we had it with Operation Magma, the police response to the Officer AB case, which was Peter Francis and HM123 bringing a legal case against the Met.
Who was here this morning?
Yes, yeah, I mean, it nearly always is. Which I think was, I mean, it was like, oh, look, there's a new document I haven't seen before. Wow, it's quite exciting to see a real life document outside of Epic in the wild, if you like. But like, I mean, I think there was a couple of reports which I hadn't seen before as part of Carlos Sarachi's role in the Lois Austin case, but it's been quite thin gruel otherwise.
We did have a mitting interjection.
We did, yes.
A brief one.
It was a brief one. It was actually, I mean, it's the missing version of being laden with expletives, actually, because I mean, this related to a report by Carlos Sarachi that recorded the reactions of other members of the Socialist Party to Lois Austin's performance on the stand during the civil litigation over May Day 2001, and he was. The witness was asked what policing value this had, and he gave a mealy-mouthed answer, which kind of said, "Oh, it was all part of the background information," and blah 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 blah. And then the counsel moved on, and Missing interjected to go, "What on earth did this report have to do with policing value?" To which the witness had to say, "Oh, none at all." So I think the officer added these details as a
I kind of expected him to be asking about the appropriateness of what appeared to be what's the letters, legally privileged information.
Oh, the LPP,
yeah. Which it was. It was about the plans to appeal and to under the Human Rights Act, which should never have been.
Well, absolutely, and once you've taken away the legally privileged material and also the speculation about opinions of third parties, there is literally nothing else in the police report. So, I mean, what policing value and what legal policing value is there in any of that? None whatsoever. It's either unlawful or hearsay. But then, I think we've come to realise that is what so many of the SDS reports actually look like.
Yeah, indeed.
I'm struggling for anything else to talk about from that session.
I can't recall anything else.
Well, quite. Just quickly, I mean, there has been a press release put out by Police Spies Out of Lives about this attempt by the Home Office to try and shut down the inquiry. I have distributed that. There will be more detail on the reaction of core participants and campaign opposing police surveillance in the next day or so. We are going to have a meeting of core participants in order to formulate a strategy to take forwards about how we are going to formally respond to this consultation. I would say that I think the overwhelming message should be that this is yet another authoritarian crackdown by an appallingly authoritarian government that is desperately trying to sweep under the carpet the abuses of its officers over the years in crushing dissent. And it's another layer of that. I think the most important response people can make is organising for a better society in general.
And don't fill in the form yet. Let's think about this. There's a couple of trick questions in there where you might, if you're rushing for it, accidentally basically say this has cost too much.
I mean, the government costs too much, comrades. The price gouging isn't the point. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, let's go back to it.
Let's get back to it. Thanks for joining us. We'll do a longer video at the end of the day where we'll reflect on this whole attempt to shut down the inquiry in more detail. Bye for now.